When we have another question here from Harry, um, and this one is: any thoughts on recent acquisitions like the recent Rockwell Fiix acquisition or AVEVA OSIsoft?
Well, I guess probably in many respects, I think IoT and whatever related smart systems, software opportunities are kind of converting into a land grab. I think a lot of the existing OEMs, once they realize that this is inevitable, and that ultimately their embrace of software in their business models is a given, and ultimately a minimum requirement for success. I think you're going to see a long string for quite a while of a lot of activity around bolt-on acquisitions for standalone businesses. If I divide the current state of the world versus the intended future state, and you think of monolithic applications, so whether I'm buying a data historian or I'm acquiring a computerized maintenance management system provider, these are all kind of fixed monolithic apps, and so I think those acquisitions serve those OEMs well in the context of trying to, essentially they're all reaching for scale, they're reaching for new skills, and they're reaching for new capabilities. I think the biggest question, and in many respects, the OSIsoft acquisition by Schneider and AVEVA is a good example of this, which is, how dynamic, streams of data and how that kind of dynamic data story will unfold over time, I think is the thing that breaks us out of the yoke of these sort of siloed monolithic apps that we're accustomed to. So whether it's, CAD systems and design, it's supply chain, it's, MES in the factory, or other shop floor systems, or other applications outside of industrial and, mining, agriculture, or otherwise, there's lots of fixed monolithic applications that people can acquire players for to get to scale, and potentially add skills and more software knowledge to their domain expertise. But ultimately, how all this acts in a more dynamic data environment where these data apps are essentially updating themselves and evolving on their own as technology over time is kind of the next big frontier.